Have you tasted the best beer in the galaxy? If you've had beer at Garth's Brew Bar on Monroe Street, you probably have. They are raising the bar of bars. If you visit Garth's, challenge them to pick the perfect beer for you. I love beer, and I don't really know that much about it. So I really love quality selections and recommendations like theirs. Plus, Garth's is clean and cozy. Go visit garthsbrewbar.com and scroll down to sign up for their newsletter. Y'all, Comic-Con is back in Madison. Meet your favorite celebs and see all the cool artists and vendors at Madison Comic Expo on September 14th and 15th at the Alliant Energy Center. Meet the voice of SpongeBob, Tom Kenny, as well as Rachel Lee Cook, Will Friedle, Grace Van Dien, some Power Rangers, and over a dozen voice actors from your favorite cartoons and anime. Don't miss the costume contest on Saturday and Sunday. Buy your tickets now at MadisonComicExpo.com. Today on CityCast Madison. It's the Friday News Roundup, and this week I'm joined by CityCast Madison's Ava Wojnowski. We're keeping it short and sweet this week for the holiday. We've got you covered for Labor Day logistics, from what to do about this weather, changes to your garbage pickup, and how to keep safe on the water and roadways. Madison schools are cautiously optimistic for school bus pickup times to be more accurate this year, and multiple big-name third-party candidates will be on your presidential ballot in November. It's Friday, August 30th. I'm Bianca Martin, and here's what Madison's talking about. Welcome to the Friday News Roundup. School starting is in the air. Fall is a little bit in the air. Fall elections are in our midst. We're grooving. And joining me today is our interim newsletter editor, Ava Wojnowski. Happy almost September. How are you?
I'm good, Bianca. I keep playing September by Earth, Wind, and Fire in my head. So I'm ready. I'm ready for it to begin.
Yes, I was literally at a wedding last weekend and it was playing. And I'm like, this is the move. And you're kicking us off this week, and man, it has been hot.
Yeah. It's been some crazy heat, but happy almost Labor Day weekend to everyone. It's going to be a hot one, kind of like it's been this past week, but hopefully it'll start to cool down. But the National Weather Service issued excessive heat warnings and advisories for much of the state earlier this week, with heat indexes above 100 degrees Monday and Tuesday. Students have been moving in and feeling the heat for sure on move-in day, so hope everyone's staying cool, hope everyone has some AC. The National Weather Service says the reason why the temperatures are so high is because of a ridge or core of warmer air flowing from the south. So, welcome UW students, hope you're staying cool.
Balmy southern air.
Welcome to the south, although not at all.
South, north.
But today and tomorrow, we're going to have highs in the 80s. But then, like I said, it's going to get a little cooler. And Sunday and Monday will drop down to lower 70s. So hopefully this crazy heat isn't going to last us much longer. And y'all can have a beautiful weekend for the Labor Day weekend. And what's a better activity to do on a hot Labor Day than boating? So something we wanted to touch base on is that the DNR wants to remind folks to always drive sober, and a reminder to also always wear a life jacket. So if you're out on the lakes, we just want to make a little reminder, be safe, be smart. Obviously, we want you to have fun. It's a great long weekend, but always remember to be safe out on the water. And something else that we're kind of talking in the same vein of safety is obviously with students back on campus, there are a lot more pedestrians walking around. There's a lot more people walking around. So we just want to make sure that cars are being a lot more alert for pedestrians and that pedestrians are always being alert of cars. So just a reminder that for vehicles to always yield to pedestrians and pedestrian crosswalks. And then for those pedestrians standing at crosswalks, always wait for your signal. It's not worth running through the intersection when you think you have a little bit of a gap. Be safe, be smart, be alert. As a runner in Madison, I know it's something that I'm always concerned about. Madison folks are usually really good at checking out for pedestrians, but you can never be too careful. So just make sure you're double checking that with the increase of people around town.
Yeah, and also, like you said, it's UW. There are new people here, new students, almost like maybe thinking it's the first day on Earth walking around.
Yeah, for real.
And it is like a different flow with all of the people. I already have had an experience recently of driving through campus at night and seeing, I don't know, probably several hundred students while wearing the same colored shirts, and some of them having different ideas of what the sidewalk is compared to the street. So definitely appreciate those notes and all the voting notes as well.
Totally, yeah. Something a little bit on a lighter note and a more exciting note, too, is that this weekend is the Taste of Madison.
Yes!
And I'm not going to talk too much about that because we actually had a podcast come out about that yesterday. So definitely go give a listen to that Taste of Madison podcast to get all your details about what's to come this year. But something to know and put on your radar is the road closures that'll be taking place for Taste of Madison. The roads around the Capitol Square will be closed starting at 5 p.m. today and will last until 2 a.m. on September 2nd. So note this for any commute that you may have this weekend. There's going to be a lot of people around again. Students are back on campus. Taste of Madison's going on. It's Labor Day weekend, people. There's a lot going on. So make sure you're just kind of adding some extra time to any commute you may have, being gracious with one another. I mean, let's wrap up the summer in a kind and good way to one another. So make sure you're being aware. And another thing to be aware of is that if you normally have your trash collected on Mondays, you will instead be putting that out on Tuesday, September 3rd due to the holiday. So that's a lot of yapping about this weekend. I think it's going to be a fun one for folks. Just remember to be smart and safe.
Yes, I love it. I mean, I kind of feel like we've got some order of business up top for our Friday News Roundup. Labor Day weekend is upon us, and screw your heads on tight. There are people getting shaboozy.
Lock in.
Be safe, have fun, but yeah, be safe for sure. And that trash note is very helpful. I feel like keeping up on that. Yeah, the trash is changing, so note that. All right, so we are going to dive into some more news around school opening. But before that, let's take a quick break. Red at the Bone, The Sixth Extinction, Le Petit Prince. Madison Public Library connects us to the world, to information, and to each other. And September is Library Card Sign-Up Month. So now's the perfect time to go find your newest fandom through books, movies, manga, music, and more when you get your very own Madison Public Library card. And this is fun. If you sign up in September at any of the 9 Madison Public Library locations, you can get your photo taken with a big library card. Hey, make it a celebration. Already have a card? Awesome. You can renew it this month and visit the library website for a list of 30 things you can do with your Madison Library card. One for every day in September. To get started, visit madpl.org. That's madpl.org, or stop into any Madison Public Library location. Yes, it is back to school time next week, and Madison Public Schools start on September 3rd. I can't believe it. September 3rd is the start of the first quarter and semester for grades 4K, K, 6, 9, and early childhood, and then all students will attend school on September 4th. So may the force be with us, with your students, with your kids, with your nephews, with the kids you babysit, what have you. School time couldn't get better. And there is a wish in the air, a hope that buses will run on time this year. Yeah? They're familiar?
I'm familiar.
Yes. So early signs point to a better outlook this fall for our buses, but our school district's bus provider is saying that they are still cautiously optimistic. As a reminder, last year's fall school start was accompanied by the launch of a new bus provider called First Student. To take us back, First Student took over busing for our district's elementary and middle schools and special education last fall, and some buses were regularly running up to an hour late for students, parents, and teachers alike. That is disruptive. Yes, as a student, would I have liked my first hour to be later? Perhaps, but only if I got another hour of sleep, not standing there waiting for the bus. And those delays last year lasted for a couple months. Some students saw reports experiencing delays up to 2 hours late to school. So
Holy
in
cow.
instances, it's just unacceptable.
Yeah.
And we remember instances of teachers and aides actually stepping in to walk students home. It was very not pretty. So updates. I read a story in the Cap Times from Kayla Wynn around the district and first student taking steps to address delays for this year. First off, part of the issue was that we had a significant bus driver shortage. So the number of drivers this year is nearly double that of last year. So recruitment efforts have been on. The story details that staffing is still a current challenge. Also, the district has been doing trial runs for bus routes earlier than last year to help catch and resolve any issues. So here's the cautiously optimistic part. The district's interim director of building services says that even though the numbers are up for drivers, so there's more staffing, parents should still expect delays for the first few weeks. We want to shout out First View app. And this is to help families to keep tabs on and keep track of their students' transportation, knowing that these delays are going to be a part of the picture. We'll toss that app link in our show notes, but the app has notification alerts when a student's bus is getting close. I mean, frankly, I could have used that as a kid.
Same.
It's going to be a resource for you to answer questions like when your bus will show up, how can you see when your child's been picked up? So yes, so it goes. The school year is about to start, and what will come of the bus arrival times? Who will know? It's kind of a bummer to expect delays right off the jump, right? But the word is hopeful that there will be less time waited and fewer delays.
Yeah, I think it's just overall, as a kid, you don't want to be standing there waiting, sitting around, hoping the bus will come, not knowing when it'll come. So I think although delays could happen, it's nice now to have this app as a resource to kind of be like, okay, this is how long I can expect to be waiting here. Although a kid should never have to wait for their bus to go to school.
Yeah, it's an emo deep cut from my childhood, honestly. It just generally sucks to be waiting to be picked up by anyone, be it your parent, your sibling, or your own school bus. It kind of makes you feel unimportant. So yeah, we hope the system gets ironed out sooner than later, but it is happy to hear about these strides that are being made. First Student will be recruiting bus drivers and bus attendants throughout the year. So if you know of anyone looking for a gig, the starting wage for a First Student bus driver with a commercial driver's license is $25 per hour, and attendance is $17 an hour. So that's that. But there's another positive note. First Student, and some positive news, purchased with EPA funding 5 electric buses for the district. So those are going to be rolling out, deployed over the next year and a half. So that's a first for the district. So going electric in the school bus world as well as in the city.
Yeah. Dane County is going a lot more electric. I know that Dane County just received $13 million for electric vehicle charging stations. So it looks like the city, the suburban areas, and the rural areas around are going to get a lot more EV chargers, which is super exciting to see.
It's really exciting. And this is a total side note, but I've been talking to my boyfriend about boats, and he's like, wouldn't it be so cool to have an electric boat? And I the more talk about electrifying our public buses and our public fleets and our own cars and vehicles, I mean, it's really exciting. It's exciting to think that we're, forward thinking like that.
Totally, yeah.
And I was pretty stoked. This is just story time. I saw one of the articulated buses on East Wash this week, and I lost it. I was like, oh my God, there it is. There it is.
Do they look super different? I haven't seen one of them yet.
They actually don't look super different, but what's different is in the middle, there's an accordion, basically, like the instrument, and it's black. Okay. It basically looks like 2 buses that had surgery and were put together.
Oh, interesting.
So it's just a long bus.
Yeah. I always think about the Amazon delivery cars and the ones that are electric, because I think they're through Rivian, the car company. And I always see those and I think they look like little bugs. So every time I see the electric Amazon trucks, I'm like, the little bug truck. And my roommates are always like, what are you talking about?
We're talking the environment. I love seeing biomimicry and kind of, pretending things are like bugs and whatever.
Totally.
I love talking about the environment. While we're on this topic, we are going to talk about green energy to a degree right after this break. Okay, we're back. The buses are rolling, and we promised that we were going to talk about green energy. We're going to talk about it in a sense. The Wisconsin Supreme Court decided this Monday to not hear a Democratic challenge to remove Green Party presidential candidate Jill Stein from our ballot this November. Who cares? Well, the Democrats and the Republicans and the Green Party, and maybe you as a voter. So Jill Stein being on the ticket is significant because we are in a swing state. We're as swingy as states get. The fear is that an independent or third-party candidate can siphon off crucial votes from either main party. And that's super valid. That's a valid fear. In 2016, Jill Stein pulled 31,000 votes. So some actually blame her for helping Trump clinch the presidency that year. So the details of this case are maybe a little bit less crucial to know, but high level, the employee from the Democratic National Committee who brought this case forward said, hey, Stein can't be on the ballot because the Green Party can't nominate presidential electors in our state without any state office holders or legislative candidates to help that nomination process. The Green Party and the Republicans countered saying, hey, the Green Party met all of its legal requirements, so they stay. And the Supreme Court said, in essence, nope, not taking this one up. That the challenger is, quote, not entitled to the relief he seeks. So sachet, she stays. And so the Wisconsin Elections Commission met Tuesday, where commissioners voted to place 8 independent and third-party candidates on the presidential ballot. 8. And that includes Robert F. Kennedy Jr., RFK. Despite his attempts to remove himself, he will be on the ballot.
Yeah, I feel like going off of what you said about how in the past elections have been so close, I feel like it's going to be another close race this year. And as you said, Wisconsin is constantly teetering on the edge as we are quite the swing state. So I'm kind of anxious to see how this all plays out. But definitely stay tuned for newsletters in the future kind of explaining how voting is going to go on around November and what that's going to look like in Madison.
Yes, our newsletter coverage is critical, and it will be continuing to kind of focus on getting you that information on your ballot. While we're on elections, I also want to note we've got some fancy visitors to the state this week and next. Donald Trump was here yesterday. He hosted a town hall event for local voters at the La Crosse Center. So there's that. And next week, President Joe Biden plans to travel to Southwest Wisconsin to visit some small towns and rural areas to highlight his policy to lower costs and encourage renewable energy and advanced manufacturing. So once again, Wisconsin is still that chick. We're the belle of the ball, and our votes are being courted.
The belle of the ball. What a prestigious title we have.
What a prestigious title we have. Ava, thanks for rounding up the news with me this week. And it's a happy soon-to-come Labor Day.
Woo, thanks, Bianca. Happy to be here as always.
That's all for today here on CityCast Madison. I'm Bianca Martin, your host. We're produced by Phil Circus and Elizabeth Kama, and this week with additional help from Rob Thomas. Haley Sperling is our executive producer. Our theme music is by Carl Christensen. Ava Wojnowski is our interim newsletter editor. You can always get more news delivered right to your inbox by subscribing to Madison Minutes. And if you enjoyed today's show, why not share this podcast episode with a teacher or a parent? Noting we will not be here on Monday. That's Labor Day. See us back here on Tuesday with a guide for your September in Madison. Until then, have a wonderful holiday.